Hello, hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining in. So today, as always, we're going to focus on the breath. It's always so wonderful to expand and soften and deepen our breath and find extra ease. And then we're going to do a lovely movement flow that is centered around our breath. So I'm going to slide myself back a little bit so that we can see together. And we're going to stay seated for a little bit, suppling the spine and moving the breath through the various places that it wants to go. And sometimes with whatever's going on, we start to tighten up a little bit, we contract, we constrict, and our breath gets smaller and it can't move in its infinite, beautiful, nourishing ways. So that's my main love, is working with the breath. Everything else is kind of accessorizing, but all important as well. So let's create a beautiful torso for our breath. So we do this first by feeling the base of our spine. So you can rock in your seat a little bit. We want to say hello, sit bones, and let's rock the pelvis back and forth a little bit. I'll take this arm out of the way. So we just want to rock the pelvis, getting the hips to move, getting the juices to flow in the lower body. Let's also start to add the arms. So we start to stretch the shoulder girdle. That's the exhale. On the inhale, a relaxed opening. We want to feel the chest nice and bright, but not overdoing it. Exhale, rocking the pelvis back, upper body responds. Nice full inhalation. Lovely full exhalation. And we're pumping lightly through the shoulder girdle as well as through the spine. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. We'll come up to neutral, and now let's bring the shoulders up and roll them back. That's our inhale. Exhale, they go down and glide forwards. Inhale up and back. And make this feel absolutely delicious. It's like you're giving yourself a fabulous massage. We're not just trying to get through the motions. We want to feel as much delight and appreciation for our bodies. And in a sense, we're letting the thinking mind that likes to be the boss of everything, we're letting that part subside and letting our energy and our physical body come forward. Let's jazz it up by moving one shoulder and then the other. You can let the head follow as well. We don't want to lock anything. We're breaking down some of the linear forms of movement. Not that they aren't important, but we don't want to be stuck in only one methodology. We want to be able to be circular and swirly and infinity symbol-like. And sometimes we also want to be more linear and more contained. So there's a place for everything. We just don't want to be speaking only one language. The more movement languages we have, the more flexibility we have. So let's interlace our fingers now and keep our palms together. And we want to soften the wrists. And it's nice to gaze with love at your hands and wrists as you're doing this. And once again, we're not just doing wrists isolated. You can see I'm frozen in my shoulders and elbows. Initiate from the wrists and allow whatever echo wants to occur in the other joints nearby. Those will be elbows, shoulders, even neck. Maybe your hips are swaying, who knows? Allow, and keep breathing. If you ever feel like it's too many things at once, what I recommend is just slow it down and go back to breath as basics. Once you feel reconnected with your breath, then gently bring the movement back in. Easy, simple, not always easy, but it is simple. So we want to make sure we've been going in both directions. This should feel quite nice in the wrists. And shake out the fingers to create a little bit of awakening in the hands. In Qigong, we feel a lot of energy in the environment around us through our hands, and in healing work like Reiki, therapeutic touch, same thing. So let's clap our hands a little bit. We're here. We're awesome. Seated ovation or standing if you want. And feel, shake that out. Twist the hands a little bit. The hands are soft and you're turning the forearms, and then you just speed it up. And if you're lucky, you may feel like you have a ball, a physical ball in your hands. So just play with this. Keep smiling, keep breathing. Waking up the energy in the arms. Let's release that. And we'll do a quick shoulder opener. So this one I call halo. Let's take the hands up overhead on an inhalation and interlace the fingers. Now, anybody with sore shoulders, just do it low. But if you can bring your hands up above, great. Those of you who can enjoy an extra stretch, let's turn the palms up and lift up. Give a good stretch. Those of you who are lower, you can give a good stretch in whatever direction you wish to. Take a few breaths in this big stretch, and then soften just the shoulders and the elbows to a comfortable position. And now we're going to paint halos. And once again, it's the whole shoulder girdle moving. That's the part of the body in the driver's seat. And any other part of the body in a passenger seat, like the chest, the head, the neck, the waist, they can start to move too. And the rule of thumb is make it feel good for you. If you're feeling awesome doing halos someplace small and that makes you get goosebumps, go for it. And whichever way you're going, let's do some circles in the opposite direction. Start to drop more and more into your breath. So we've got that element of joy in the movement, pleasure in the movement, and let's check that we're breathing well. Let's press up one more time and release the arms. Let the elbows pour down, let the hands pour down, and just fluff up a little bit and see if you feel a little bit freer in the shoulders. Okay, we're going to come to standing up. Those of you who wish to stand up, you can be creative in your seat for the next part, but we're going to warm up the hips a little bit because we want all parts of the body available to us. So let's feel the feet on the ground and shift the weight, almost like you're walking but not walking. You can lift the heel and come down through the ball of the foot and even turn a little bit, go in a few different directions if you want. This is a little bit of warming up the feet, and you can see my hands and arms can't help but getting in on it. If you feel the same way, go for it. We don't need to be stiff anywhere. Let out a good sigh. We want everything flowing. Rivers of energy and breath flowing without any obstructions. To open up the hips a little bit more, let's take a straddle. And again, this is always comfortable for our bodies. We want the suspension, and lift up and over as you lunge to one side. Feel into what your legs are saying is good. Come up on the inhale and then lunge to the other side. So I'll show you a side view. Inhale, I end up leaning forward a little bit. We're not trying to be straight up and down. We want to find where all of our joints like to work together as a team. So this may be a slightly different way of working. It's for you, it's certainly different than some of the trainings that I've received, but I value everything I've learned, and now I'm experimenting with allowing freedom, allowing the body to speak her or his or their wisdom. So feel how nice the hips feel. You get maybe a stretch in the thighs, feels really good. And hands to the lumbar region to support and keep this region long. You can bend the knees, but the main thing here we're doing is shifting the hips forward and lifting up the chest. I wouldn't take the head back at this point. Let your attention be on the movement of the hips. We want to get long extension of the front body without paying or collapsing in the back body. Inhale as we gently come, hips forward. Exhale as we release, and we're going to do one more of these. Inhale and relax. Let's shake a little bit. Can be small shaking. Here we want to have resiliency, elasticity, and freedom in all the joints. So feet are feeling the ground, ankles are loose, knees are relaxed, and we prevent compression by remembering that we're suspended from above. So we're not bouncing low. We're still connected to the earth, but we're also taking advantage of the energy of levity. So we have a grounded foundation, and we have a lightness and a playfulness. And of course, the shaking can be very, very gentle. Hands, shoulders, chest. Let the head jiggle. You can make some silly noises and faces. And you can even make this more vigorous if that's what your body really wants, or you can keep it very tender and gentle. So there's a whole spectrum of intensity, from very soft and thoughtful and delicate, like a gentle stroking, to more vigorous, but we never, ever, ever go into bracing or tightness. So that's why we're working with the breath first, because that keeps us close to the truth, keeps us close to the truth. Okay, we're going to do a hip circle. So hands on the hips. We've already done all the 4 positions, but we're going to put them in a circle. So we're thinking of the pelvis, and the pelvis is making the rounds while the rib cage is resting very high above. If you want to bend your knees for this, please do. And don't miss this glorious moment of the hips stretching forward. I know that often this is the place we cheat. We do a nice circle around the back and we kind of, not quite in the front. But if anybody here sits in a chair, we need this. That's everybody. If anybody walks. So we want to get a nice, lubricated, juicy flow. And let's reverse the circle. And we're floating high above in the chest and the head. And of course, anything that wants to move can go with it. But we're focusing on movement in the hips. Okay, one more piece. And we've loosened up all the bits. We're going to do a figure 8 in the hips. So the figure 8 is going to be on the floor. So let's start with the feet about shoulder distance apart. And we're going to twist the hips. So I've got my left hip a little bit further forward. And then I'm going to slide the hips out on that diagonal and then scoop the left hip back and around. So now the right hip is out in front, and I'm going to swing slowly to the right, and then I'm going to scoop. So my hands are talking for you too. So the hips go out on the diagonal, swing around the back, then you're ready to go out on the diagonal and swing around the back. So the center of the infinity loop is right below the pelvic floor, and you're making a loop with one half of the pelvis swirling around, and then the other half of the pelvis taking over. Now keep your knees soft and keep your ankles soft and allow your feet to roll. I don't know if you can see, but my feet, I'm rolling to the outside of the foot, the inside of the foot, so that there's massage and release and lots of mobility in all the associated joints. If I try to do this with my legs straight, well, I can do a little bit of it, but I'm locking down. And if I could try to keep my feet flat, same. So let it all be really juicy. Okay, so this is the feeling of the infinity. Now let's add the hands. We've done a lot of warming up for the arms and fingers and palms and awareness. So we should be quite ready for this. I'm going to come up a little bit closer. So we'll just focus on the hands, but your hips may want to just join right in. We will bring them in later, but if yours are aching to join the party, just let them. but work with the hands. So we want to have the elbows loose, the wrists loose, the shoulders loose, just like the joints in the lower body. And we're leading often with the heels of the hands. So take the fingers pointing out towards the right, and the heels of the hands are going to brush over to the left, swirl around, come back through the center, over to the right, swirl around. So I'll show you what it looks like if you were the floor. It's kind of doing this. So can you see the figure eight? That's the middle. That's one loop, back to the middle, over the top, under the loop, and back to the middle. So you can look at the floor for a little bit, and your palms are trailing as though your fingertips are trailing in a lake, trailing in the water. And you may notice that your hips just kind of intuitively want to come along with this. So now you can start bringing the hips in. So the heels of the hands and the hips are taking a little journey together. Now, because we're not doing a linear movement like an up and then a down, we're doing a circular movement, it's not as obvious when to breathe. So I'll offer you two options, and you might find three or four yourself. So one way to do it is as we make the first half of the loop, we're inhaling. And as we come around to the center, we're exhaling. Then the second top of the loop is an inhale, and the finishing of the loop is an exhale. So that's a fairly slowish way to do it, and you may really feel that today. Another way is a bit more free form. The movement is circular. It has no beginning or end. That's the whole point of an infinity symbol. So just breathe naturally. Breathe with awareness, but allow the breath to be a little bit more organic. So there's one kind of formalized way and another way that's a bit like a structured improv. There's a rule, which is keep breathing, but keep it loose. Okay, so this is feeling the hips. Now, I'll just point out one more thing that might become an issue, is we want to maintain a space in front of the body. So we don't want the hands to come across the center of the body. If you notice, I still keep this space. I'm turning the pelvis and the belly. And I never kind of go across the body and close it off. Everything is moving together. Everything is moving together. And we want to keep a little bit of air space under the elbows and the armpits. Okay, let's shake that out. And we'll bring this into today's flow, which is a beautiful flow called Merging with the Infinite that comes from Daisy Lee's Radiant Lotus 2 course. And the idea is we have in Chinese medicine or Qigong, we have a potent energy center in the pelvis. If you're a yogini or yogi, this would reflect on chakras 1, 2, 3. Then we have a middle dantian or energy center, which embraces the heart and the chest. Could be a bit of solar plexus, definitely heart center, maybe a bit of throat if you're in yoga. So this is an important center. And then we have the upper dantian or energy field that includes, could be the throat, as well as the head, the brain, all of the sense organs that are extensions of the brain. So we're going to be doing a merging of infinity that each one of those energy centers becomes connected to the great, great, great energy field. So let's just acknowledge the energy field. Inhale, bring the backs of the hands up and open, and exhale, paint a big circle of energy coming down to the earth. Inhale, collect the energy, look up. And as you exhale, look around as you reach out. This energy field extends far beyond your body. We're in an ocean of chi. Inhale and exhale. Take it in. What a blessing. From deep under the earth, high in the sky, in front of us, behind us. And we're going to be connecting our personal energy fields into merging with the infinite. Okay. Let's take a moment to settle our energy. I like to do this one with the feet about shoulder distance, but you can do it a little closer. The reason why I do that is I find it gives me a little bit more with the hips. Now, I've added the hips to what Daisy teaches. I'm just taking that liberty because I'm playing with liberty, and let's see what it feels like. So first we stand calmly and we're smiling. We're feeling the earth below us, the sky above us, and now that we're aware of the energy all around us, and we're breathing deeply and smoothly into the belly. Settling the breath, feeling our calmness. And now let's float the hands out, and we're going to go to the left first. So start breathing, inhale around, exhale back to the center, or just breathing smoothly. You can cast the eyes down a little bit. We're connecting the first energy center in the pelvis with the earth energy. And just feel the flow, the never-ending flow. Let's do one more beautiful healing loop here. Now we're coming up to the heart energy. So we bring the infinity symbol in front of the heart, paint it around. Inhale when we come up, exhale down. And letting the knees and the hips be very responsive. We're painting the infinity symbol from the heart, around the heart. And now we're going to come and do the head. This one has a little bit of a spiral. So we're coming up and over. We're turning a little bit and painting the loop. This is the biggest loop down towards the back. Inhale, come up through the front. I'm going to turn. It's not your fullest turn, but it's just a comfortable connection of more space. You may be finding that as the movement becomes larger, you may automatically, spontaneously be breathing a little bit slower. Let's do one more big loop. You're taking in your environment. You're connecting with the big picture as well as all the cells of your being. Now let's come back to the heart loop. Keep it slow. Keep the breath flowing. Smile into your tender heart. Connect with the big energy field that's always available. And now we come back to the low energy field, low as in low in closer to gravity, closer to the earth. And here we're acknowledging the beauty of the earth. And we'll allow this figure 8 infinity symbol to gradually become smaller, smaller. See if you can feel the air with your palms. Maybe you can feel the energy. And as it gets smaller, we're going to bring our feet a little closer, a little closer, a little closer. And when it feels like the right time for you, fold the thumb and the index finger together. Let your hands rest on your precious belly. Feel your feet. Feel the energy up your spine, connecting you through the crown of your head to the heavens. Wear your soft smile and your soft eyes. And breathe gently and smoothly. And let's do a little bit of bamboo in the breeze. Feeling all those infinity waves, anointing every cell of the physical and spiritual bodies. Feeling your support from below, your suspension from above, and your suppleness. And the wind starts to soften and become stillness. And you become like the candle flame in a still room, full of potential, full of ease, ready to respond, ready to move with suppleness and creativity. And we're going to finish today's practice with an Om. You can keep your hands on your belly or bring them to prayer position. And the Om is for vibration of sound to finish the clearing and the alignment inside ourselves, and also to offer the benefits of our practice to the entire world and all sentient beings. Let's take a breath in, have the intention of sharing this beautiful energy field. Take a moment to notice your breath, notice your emotional and mental state, how your body feels. Observe any shift that you've experienced in our time together, and take a little snapshot for yourself that you can carry with you through the day. If you ever forget and need a little remembering, remember this time together, take out your little energy snapshot and take a few breaths and smile. And very quickly you'll be back here, because this is where we really want to be. So the more we practice it, the easier it is to return. I send you so much love, many, many blessings, and we'll see you next time. And the sessions will be again Monday to Friday starting next week. Blessings to everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.